So those of us out there who have followed this whole situation involving Sonic the Hedgehog in this movie, we know that it's bad, right? We know that it's bad because this is what we saw. And this is horrifying. And this is terrible. And this is not something that should ever grace God's green earth. Doesn't matter if you're religious or agnostic or atheist. This is an abomination unto the Lord. Look at those teeth. Look at those teeth. They're scary. Human teeth on Sonic. It's so weird. But anyway, Sega here. You figure Sega, when they sold the rights to Paramount, right? When they optioned off those rights, they would have at least had someone there as a quality control person. It's not really the case. And that's actually pretty apparent when you look at the situation as a whole, especially when you look at this particular article coming in from videogameschronicle.com. So I don't know. We'll see if this is real or not. Anyway, Sega explains its hands-off role in upcoming Sonic movie. Yeah, it's hands-off role. That's never a good sign. You don't want the developers of the game, the owners of the property, the people who know how to build this, to not be involved, right? I can't be wrong in thinking that or alone in thinking that. Now it says here, Sega has said it's taking a fairly hands-off role in the development of Paramount's upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog, while other publishers, including Sony, are handling movie adaptations internally. Sega Europe COO and President Gary Dale believes that the filmmaking is best left to the experts. Before we go any further, I'd like to redirect the audience to exhibit number 1. Is anything about this best left to the experts? The answer to that is simply, God, no. That's terrible. Please never show it again, Matt. I want to one day have children. Anyway, so he says here, I think that there's a view that we're very good at making video games and Paramount is very good at making pictures. I mean, like, Paramount at this point is kind of not really like the best person to talk to or the best group to talk to. I think if you followed anything involving Paramount recently, everyone's like, Bumblebee was good. It wasn't. It was okay, but it was like still not a very big profitable film, despite them saying that it was profitable. Star Trek was kind of DOA. Mission Impossible's done pretty well. They haven't really had much else happen. They just haven't. So Paramount is in a bit of a bad situation, which is one of the reasons why they have to make sure that Sonic works. So delaying it seems like the best course of action. Now, he says, I think that the idea that you try to control Paramount would be the wrong approach. Over the years, I look at the success of games franchises in film, and it's very mixed. The idea that games makers can control the process and create great movies, I don't know if that's true or not. But it's not hard to look at video game movies, like let's say the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I do unironically love, but it is objectively bad, is complete offshoot from what the game exactly is. So much so that people out there have mocked it for well over 20 years, 25, 26 years now. It's been mocked, rightfully so. The game makers maybe would have done a little bit better of a job, but oftentimes in these situations, the game makers aren't involved in the making of the movie at all, and the movie just gets really, really messed up in the process. I'd like to direct you to any and all Uwe Boll films outside of Postal, which is so irreverent in its own right that the movie was pretty good. If you've never seen it, I actually really highly recommend it. So Sonic's character design for the film was revealed in April and caused a fan backlash large enough to see the movie delayed from November 19th to February 2020 so that Sega's mascot could be reworked. And again, gamers won because this is what we had. I'm going to keep frightening you with it because it's terrible. But this is the reason why gamers fought back. You know, they were like, no, longtime fans of Sonic didn't want to see this design and the movie was going to tank. The word of mouth was so bad, so negative, so terrible that Sega themselves should have been like, no, I think we're okay. I think we're not gonna go down that path. I think we're gonna be all right. But anyway, now when asked about this decision, Dale says, I think everyone is just keen to do the right thing. Obviously, we had very deep knowledge of the character and the brand. Paramount had a deep knowledge of how to make movies. Okay. And the trick is just to bring those two skill sets together in order to make the best film that we can. To be fair, Paramount has been listening to feedback from the community around Sonic, which of course has got tremendously loyal fan base with people with a very specific views of who Sonic is, how Sonic should behave, and how Sonic should work. And I think Paramount has taken a lot of that on board. Yeah, they've had to. They've had to, because once again, this is what they presented. This is what a committee of artists and executives and filmmakers at Paramount decided was the best look for an anthropomorphic, or I can't say the word, but like a very, very humanoid looking animal that can run real fast and is in Idaho for some reason. And this is what they thought that, was going to make them money. No. But anyway, the adventure star does star Jim Carrey, who recently said that he was unsure how he felt about that, because he says the audience being in on the creation while it's happening. He was unsure because he doesn't want the audience involved. And that, look, I get that. To an extent, we all have ideas about, certain directions these kind of things should go. Like if there ever was a Legend of Zelda movie, would Link talk? That is going to be a subject for debate, because some people out there want that to be a pure experience of not having Link talk. And other people just want him to say nothing but "excuse me, princess" for the whole fucking movie. And guess what? I'm actually kind of in that particular department. If that's the only line he says, you would have my money. No question asked. You would have my money. I would go. But when it looks like this, you can tell why. You can tell exactly why fans were upset and exactly why fans fought back. And Paramount was in the right to listen, because Paramount is in the business of making money. And when you alienate the people who are going to pay the money, you find yourself in a pretty crappy situation overall. And I just find it really funny that Sega is like, well, we're going to take a hands-off approach because they got the money. And to quote Darkside Phil, all they have to say at this point is, thanks for the money, dummy.